good afternoon and welcome to the first of the Sketchbook Sunday sessions. These will be going out every Sunday from the early hours on the YouTube channel, Wash and Press. And I'll be sort of taking you through some arts activities basically, which will be great. It'll get you outside on your exercise walk or your daily walk. And we're going to be sort of working with activities that are suitable for adults and children alike. Some of the activities for the younger children you will need as an adult to supervise. Some of them you won't. So it's a case of please do make a sensible judgment, watch the video perhaps beforehand, and take it from there. Now the first Sketchbook Sunday, in order to do a Sketchbook Sunday, we need a sketchbook. So that is exactly what we're doing in this very first session. We're actually going to be making our own sketchbook, which will then be used in the Sketchbook Sunday activities, which is pretty cool actually. In front of me we've got two work areas. This is the one I'm going to be using, and this is our daughter who's doing it with me at the moment, who's 6, almost 7. Some of the tools in front of me, you'll see what we've got, will need some adult supervision depending on the age of the child. Basically I've got a Let's get that out. I've got a A4 piece of card or thick paper. I've got thickish paper. Mine's black for ease of the camera, so it's nice and easy to see. Or you can use, or very shiny patterned paper. You can see our daughter here has decorated hers. Obviously this is all up to you. You can do that before or after the activity of making the sketchbook. Also got a nice sort of stash of, it's all A4, working A4 paper. It's all scrap paper, so it's lined. There's some graph paper, some old newsprint, printout paper. Then we've got some old printout paper which is a bit crumpled, ones that has writing on. Some of the activities with the sketchbooks, you'll be collaging and pasting over things, so you don't always need fresh paper. Slip in some coloured paper if you want, entirely up to you. Just make sure it's all the same size. I'm working with A4. Now, what we're going to do to start with is, let's just move away our card. Once all your paper is cut, it needs to be all folded in half. So, and give it a nice seam along the top. So I'm just going to go through each one now. Sometimes depending, I'm doing 2 at a time here. Depending on the thickness of the paper, you can fold it 2 at a time. I'm using my nail just to make a nice clean fold. And if you do this on a nice flat surface, it makes it easier. I've got 10 sheets of A4 paper here. That is probably going to be enough for the Sketchbook Sunday series and what we're working with. If you wish to make sketchbooks again, have a play. See how many pieces of paper you can get in the sketchbook without it becoming too awkward to handle. Can I help you there? You doing okay? Great job. So, whilst my assistant here finishes her ones, you can see I folded them all in half. Now, in order to finish the sketchbook, at the moment I've got sort of individual pieces all folded in half. You need to slot them in the order you want them inside one another. So you want them all in a sort of book format. Now this is where you can have a play with the order, where you want lined paper, coloured paper, your patterned paper, all entirely up to you. I'm just all bundling it together and you'll see it's now, there's a spare piece there. All in a nice book. There we go. If I start folding these, do you want to start putting yours together in the book? Yeah? I'm just going to help here. And this is all about teamwork, these activities. adults and children alike can take part and get making. Brilliant job. That's it. I've got 3 here, babe. There you go, let me separate them for you. That's it. Where do you want these 3? Wonderful. Do you want to pat it all together to make sure it's all, that's it. Got your book? Brilliant. Now we're going to bring back our covers. So, whoa, yours is so shiny. Mine's, as I say, just a black one. Now this is what's called in bookbinding, this central bit here, without the cover, it's called the text block. The text block, and it comes, this is a very simple stitch we're going to do. So you insert your text block into your cover. Now obviously if you have a decorated cover, please make sure your decoration's on the front. If you want to decorate your cover before you put your text block inside, so before you insert this bit, you can of course, or you can do it afterwards. It won't affect, beautiful, it won't affect the process at all. Lovely. So there's our, I know there's a little edge there, we're going to talk about that in a minute. So if you let down, that's it, brilliant, our 2 books all ready to sew together. Now the next tools which you need, pair of scissors, basic scissors, some form of thread, wool, yarn, anything that's kind of equivalent of a jumper weight knitting wool, so 4-ply. You don't want it too thin like cotton, like sewing cotton, because it will tear the thin paper. So it needs to have a little bit of weight. If you've only got cotton, like sewing cotton, you can obviously double up the thread, so you've got more ply, so it makes it slightly thicker. Got 2 needles here, that's 1 for you and 1 for me. Now obviously depending on the age of the child and the suitability, just be aware of sharp points and needles. And this is called an awl. It's basically, if I hold it against the black, it's a sharp point. This is going to enable us to make holes down the side of your sketchbook. If you don't have an awl, you need to find something that is sharp and can make little holes. It could be another needle, perhaps a knitting needle, even a drill if you happen to have a drill around. But again, all of these things might need adult supervision. Just be careful. And we also have, I've got an old cutting mat here, like a craft mat, just so that we don't damage our work surface when making holes in the sketchbook. An old block of wood, kitchen chopping board, all of these things are suitable as well. Okay, so I'm just going to make a bit of space now. You need to open up your book to the middle page, so you can see my middle page here. Make sure it is all aligned, so you've got everything's aligned, the middles are all aligned. And, excuse the arm, you need to bring in your chopping block or your craft mat. And I'm just going to stand up here because it's going to require a little bit of pressure. You could measure this, but I'm just going to do it by eye. You need to find the middle following the fold line as a guide. Approximately make a hole in the middle. And you want to go all the way through all the pages. And to make sure you've just gone through, hold all your pages in position and have a little peek. I can see I've gone through, so that's great. So I'm now going to, you need to grip all your pages together so they don't slide about. And now we need 2 holds either side of the middle one. So 1, 2, 1, 2. Now to help, I'm going to make a little pencil mark. 1, 2, 1, 2. And you, as I say, if you feel like doing it really precisely, you can measure, but doing it by eye is absolutely fine. It will hold the sketchbook together. And using the awl or similar item, you need to make holes in all those marks. Make sure they go all the way through. Brilliant. What I'm going to do now, I'm just going to move mine out of the way. If you fancy it, if you've got a lot of pages in your sketchbooks and they're slipping around, get a clothes peg and peg the side of the pages, they all stay in the same place whilst you make the holes. Now, should we do yours? So, you want to lift up? Should I put pencil marks so we know where we're going? So, have one in the middle. And then how many either side?
2.
2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Right, let's do this together. So it's going to have to be quite hard. You ready? Can I just get through the card?
Mine's quite a thick card.
Do you want to go and get yourself a clothes peg? And we're going to peg this one because the slippy card, the shiny slippy card. We're just going to peg these pages together. That's it. So if you peg them there or down here. Yeah, there we go. And then we're going to turn it round. Should I do this? Yeah, it's quite. You just have to make sure you get through all those layers. Makes it easier when stitching. Right, we don't need that, so that can go away now. And we don't need the mat.
Can I see if we have holes?
Should we check?
Oh.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Brilliant. So keep the clothes peg on. Okay, now comes to the stitching. Now, general rule of thumb when it comes to bookbinding, I say, you get your thread, and I've gone from top hole to the bottom hole, and we want it 4 times that length. So 1, 2, and it's approximate, 3, 4. Do you want to cut that? That's it, thank you. Just in the middle. Yep. Perfect, that's for you. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Do you want to cut in the middle? Lovely, thank you. Okay, where did your needle go? Over there. Now, when stitching, it's a case of threading your needle. Just going to get better light, so I'm just going to do this off camera. Have you got yours, or can I help you, babe?
Almost done it.
Almost.
It's got a couple of threads through.
We're actually using what's called bookbinding thread. Have you done yours? Mine's being a bit fiddly.
Me too.
It's bookbinding thread, and it's a linen thread that is... Oh, brilliant. That's coated in beeswax. And it's traditional thread for bookbinding. Oh, wonderful. So you can see I've threaded, and I've just literally standard sort of needle, a few inches, and I am not tying a knot in the bottom. There's no knot in the bottom. And the rhythm that we do this is we are going to go to the middle hole, and I'm going to go down. That's it, Gwyneth. Middle hole and down, and pull the thread through, and leave. You can see what's that? A couple of inches. There we help. Again, this might need a bit of supervision just to make sure those holes are. Let go for a second. It's your thick card. There we go.
Is my thick card okay?
Yeah, it's absolutely fine. There you go, babe.
Nothing wrong.
So a couple of inches at the end, and that will be where we're tying it off. So I've gone down. I'm now going to turn over, and I'm going to go down one of the ones either side. Doesn't matter which way you go.
And I threw all of them.
You through.
Oh.
So you can see I've gone down
Ow.
through that one. Can I help you?
No, I did it.
You done it? Should I help pull through?
I'll hold this.
You hold that. Just make that hole slightly bigger. There you go, you can pull through. And obviously when you're pulling it tight, just be aware you've got this without a knot on, so you don't want to pull it so tight that you end up pulling this through.
I'm holding mine.
Brilliant. And then where are we going next, do you think? Down that one, exactly. Lovely. And you'll get to this stage where you then need to go back. So I've come up.
I'm just I'm bookbinding.
There you go. So we now need to go down this one. Down this one, back into that same hole. And this is where it becomes a bit tight, so you will just be patient. Wiggle the hole a little bit. Let me help you after I've done this. Wiggle the hole if you have to, and pull it up. You can probably take that off now.
Okay.
So going down that one, aren't we?
No, but it's not going through.
It can be tricky.
Yay!
Wonderful.
I'm bookbinding them. Down the
And
middle, I
there,
think.
down the middle, exactly. So you can see what we're doing now. We're going back to the other way. So down the middle again. On this one, because you've got a loose thread, just make sure you don't pull that through as well. You can see our stitching beginning to form along the spine of the book.
I'm holding this over here. Where's that end?
It's okay. It's there, nice and safe.
Yay!
There you go.
Down this
Gosh, you've got
hole.
shiny. Yeah, down that hole. You've got very shiny card. I wish I had shiny card.
Mummy, you can make your own.
I know, but I'm having black card. I might decorate it for next week. And then down here. So it's like a running stitch, but going back on itself.
Why is it not coming? Back stitch.
Yes, exactly. We're doing a running stitch and a back stitch. Okay, down there. Yep.
Running stitch and a back stitch.
There you go.
At the same time.
And you can see how the stitching is forming along the spine really nicely. And final one goes in there.
In here?
Yep, that's it. Down that one. Can I help? Get that one through. There you go, and then you're going where you're going.
Down there.
Go on then.
Who's
And you'll
not going
see.
down the middle again?
You'll see when you...
Ow.
You okay? You'll see. There we go. Ready for the last one, Gwyneth? There. So what have you got?
I'm not going down the middle again, are
No, because look. What have we got? Oh. So now we have our two ends. This is our needle end and the end we started with. Ready to tie up. Right, do you want to trim, Gwyneth, please? Yours off. Just there. And we'll put the needle to one side. And the same with mine, please. Okay, what we need to do now is we need to make safe these ends. Your finger okay? Yeah? Let's have a look. Oh, you're doing good. Let's say be aware of sharp points. Okay. Yeah? So we need to just now basically do a basic knot to...
Is it?
So you need to do... That's it.
Trousers?
Yeah, tying trousers knot. Wonderful.
It's called granny knot.
A granny knot. There we go. Put it nice and tight.
Pretty good at these knots.
And you have a nice... And just make sure that's nice and tight. You okay there?
I
You
can
got
hold
it?
mine tension.
Yeah? You can hold it in tension. Wonderful. That's it. Brilliant. And then we just trim off our ends. Do you want
How
to do yours?
short?
Well, you don't want it to come undone, so yeah, perfect. Do you want to trim off mine for me, please? Thank you. And look at that.
Amy.
Should we see if they work? And see, nice knot in the middle. Fold it in half, and ta-da! You have
Ooh.
your sketchbook. So I say this had 10 pages. That would be plenty for what we're doing on Sketchbook Sundays. And it's nice because you can open it nice and flat across the pages. This is called a saddle bind.
Saddle bind? Like a saddle on a horse.
Like a saddle on a horse. So you can open it flat across the pages. And if you use different colours or textures, you get nice contrast going on, which you can all work with. Yeah, there we go. So that is the first of the Sketchbook Sundays, how to make your sketchbook, which we'll be using every Sunday to do various pretty cool things. And before you know it, it'll be full up. I've learnt lots and lots of wonderful things. Okay, so this will be the first project. Don't forget you can decorate your front. And in a week's time, we shall get out and about, start filling the sketchbook. Thank you so much for listening. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.